Welcome to No Excuses. My name is Mary Fran, and this is my place to talk about weight loss, life, fitness, being the most amazing version of me possible. So welcome. So today we're going to be doing a tag, and I actually am doing this without a tripod, without anything, because it is all packed up and ready to go. So here we go. I was tagged in the When I Was Younger tag by Joan over at Joan's Pointed Plate. And the questions are just like really fun and very thought-provoking. So let's just get right to it. And thank you, Joan, for tagging me. So the first question is, what is one item that you had as a child that you wish you had now as an adult? And in a couple tags ago, I actually talked about how I wish I had my father as my item. But I'm going to actually also say that I wish I had my childhood innocence. There was just a childhood innocence. You don't worry about bills, sickness, death, all of that. I wish I had that childhood innocence back. Wouldn't that be fun? Number 2, what was your favorite and least favorite subject in school? My favorite was always history. I love history. You probably picked up on that from various videos that I've done visiting historical places, but I love history. My least favorite, PE. I was overweight as a child and I hated physical education. Maybe that's part of the reason I got to the point where I need to have a weight loss channel. The next one is, what was your least favorite food as a child? And is it still your least favorite food? And I'm going to say probably meat. I really am not a huge meat eater. I remember when I was young, I just didn't like it. And I remember for years I actually went and just ate a peanut butter sandwich at dinner. I would eat the vegetables and everything that was served, but I just didn't eat a big hunk of meat. And I did eventually start eating meat again, and then I stopped for about 5 years or so, and then I started again. And right now I'm trying to go back more to it because meat is just not something that I like. And in fact, we'll eat dinner, and that's probably the thing that I eat the least of. I know I need my protein, and I try to get it other ways, but meat is just not something that I really, really like. What is one of your most embarrassing childhood moments? I really don't know, because I just kind of laugh at everything. So, to really get embarrassed, I can't think of any. I mean, we all have cringe moments, but nothing that really stands out as something that has traumatized me the rest of my life. Probably because whenever something embarrassing happens, I make it a huge joke, and I joke about it so much that it just actually becomes fun. Actually, I am going to say this is more along the lines of late teens, early adulthood. I was going to play the piano for my dad's church. The normal piano player was going to be gone, and so I got the keyboard. We were in a temporary building, and so I got the keyboard, and I played with it all week, and I was doing really good, and everything sounded good. So we went and set up the keyboard at the church, and everything was good. And so I just kind of sat and waited for church to start. When it came time to play the prelude to the service, I got up there and I played. And the noises that came out of that piano were absolutely horrible. I remember playing and looking at my fingers going, my fingers are on the right keys. What's happening? What's happening? Nothing sounded right. It was the most horrid experience of my life. Apparently, one of the men in the church looked over at my mother and said, "You've paid lessons for this?" My dad said that when I was done and he started to pray, the opening prayer, that he was basically praying that something would be fixed because this was that bad. What had happened is I had set up the keyboard, and some of the kids had gone up and started pressing buttons, and they changed everything up, unbeknownst to me. During my father's prayer, which was very long because he did not want it to end, because he didn't want that sound to come back, I was able to reset everything, and the rest of the service went just fine. That's pretty embarrassing. Who was your celebrity crush? I never actually went into all of that. I've never been one that follows celebrities and puts them on a pedestal. So, yeah, none of those. Did you have a childhood nickname? Mary Franny is what my mom and family called me. And Jason actually had picked up on that. He calls me Mary Franny also. My brother for a while called me Pea Brain because, I was a kid and peed the bed once. And, it happens. But yeah, no, just those. The next one is, what school clique would you have been most popular or fit in best with? The nerds, probably. I was one of these people that I kind of flitted in and out of all of the cliques. Everybody was okay to me, but I wasn't really part of any. So maybe I was just more of a loner. I don't know. But yeah, I would probably say nerds. And next, did you have any childhood pets? Yes, I did. My parents actually found a cat just a couple months before I was born. And so this cat and I grew up together. She actually lived until I was in high school. And so that was awesome. And when I was about 5 or 6, we got a dog. So I grew up with a dog and a cat. When you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up? A mother. Always wanted to be a mother. That was the constant. A movie is made about you in your 20s. What would the theme song be? I really don't know. I can't get no satisfaction. Probably because my 20s were extremely dull and boring. I pretty much worked, stayed at home, lived a dull, boring life. Didn't date, didn't go out with friends because I didn't have any friends that lived locally. Lived a pretty dull, boring life. Yeah. So those are the questions. I want to thank you again, Joan, for tagging me. This was a fun tag. And I am going to be tagging my 5-star life. I'm going to be tagging Pine Trees and Stars and Adventures with Deanna. Their links are in the description below. Thanks for joining me. Remember, life is fun, life is fantastic, and life is what we make of it. No excuses.